first, Ms. Perlmutter, you've got an excellent resume, an excellent history, and I compliment you on your work for the Copyright Division. And the Music Modernization Act is certainly important to Tennessee, to Nashville, and to Memphis with all the music that's been written here. But I do want to say that, Mr. Chairman, I agree with some of the things the Republicans have said earlier today. Mr. Jordan, Mr. Chabot, that they're right. There are issues of more importance than copyright, but we do need to look at copyright. And they're right that the House is on fire and it's our southern border. But it's not quite in our southern border, it's down in South Florida. What we saw yesterday in an opinion from Judge Amy Berman Jackson about the president's conduct that was hidden from us by the Attorney General who lied to the Congress and lied to the American public about the Mueller report is the House being on fire. And are our colleagues on the other side concerned about that? No, they're concerned about immigration. Immigration is important, and the Biden administration is working on it. But the previous Attorney General contemptuously avoided appearing before our committee. And then when he finally did, he arrogantly answered questions, and he lied to us. And Judge Jackson has seen information that shows he lied to the American public when he released the Mueller report, or he released his synopsis, his summary of the Mueller report, 4 pages summarizing a 400-page report, and said that they could not indict the president, that Mueller said that. That was not true. Judge Jackson has ordered that that paper that was used to support his mendacity should be released to the public. Merrick Garland is an outstanding attorney general, I believe. He was a great judge. And I hope the chairman will write him, as I plan to, and urge him not to appeal this case and to let the American public and the spirit of transparency and democracy see what happened and what was done in justice to pervert justice and to not allow the American people in Congress to know what went on with the Mueller report, why the President of the United States was not charged with obstruction of justice when there were 10 counts in the second section of the Mueller report, where Mr. Mueller said that appeared to be obstruction of justice, but it was up to Congress to decide that we had the remedy and to go into those issues and to see why the most unredacted Mueller report that does take into consideration about sources and contacts, as much as it can be unredacted, is released to our committee and possibly at some point later to the public, so the public knows what the Mueller report had in it. The American public needs to know about the illegalities, the lies, the contempt, the disregard for democracy, and the continuation of it. The southern border problem in Florida still goes on. On Monday, the former president said that the election was fraudulent, that it was not a legal election. And as Liz Cheney properly said, it's a continuing attack on democracy. The election was the most honest, the most thorough, the most investigated, the most reviewed by courts. I think 62 or 64 all said everything's fine, threw away all the Trump challenges and thrown away by Trump judges. And yet the former president is still trying to put out to the American public the idea that this was not a valid election of Joe Biden and make him out to be a president without papers. That's what Donald Trump might have been if we'd have seen the Mueller report and seen it. We now know that Klimnikov was given papers by Manafort, the campaign manager, given polling data that he took to Russian intelligence, direct connections. So, Mr. Chairman, I would ask you to look at Judge Jackson's statements, to look at what we've done with Don McCain refusing to testify before us, to pursue these issues, to get the truth out to the American public and to our committee, and to protect our Constitution, and to look into the lies and the misdeeds of the previous president. True, the Senate did not impeach him, which they should have, 2 times. But the American public still needs the information. And it's possible, if they won't go along with the study of January 6th, the American public needs to know what went on there. Insurrectionists coming in and beating policemen, not just innocent Americans wanting to protest, not people just wanting to exercise their rights who the president said go peacefully and politically. You wouldn't say go to the Capitol peacefully and politically if you knew they weren't going peacefully and politically. So maybe our committee should look into what went on January 6th, when our country had the biggest threat since the Civil War and the Capitol had its biggest offense and damage since the War of 1812. It's not anything to be forgotten. We take an oath. We as judiciary members need to see to it that the Constitution of the country is preserved and protected. Mr. Chairman, thank you for your work. God bless the United States of America, and let's put the fire out. I yield back the balance of my time.